Okay guys, welcome to my first post 6.0 setup. Obviously there's been a few changes made with the game with the tyre temperatures and the GT3 class, so I thought I'd go to a track that's not overly impossible to tune for to start with. I've gone with the M3 GT, as you can see here. There's the basic setup that I use, but I'm going to go through and explain a few changes that I made just to make people aware of what I've done and what I've changed from the old setup, because there is quite a few differences, as you'll see in a minute. You'll notice that I've just tried to make the car as stable as I can, and I've only lost a bit of time in the overall lap. You can see here now we've done our tyre pressures up. Obviously we've gone higher on the tyre pressures to counter the overheating issue, but you need to consider other factors now with the setup, because any tyre sliding, any tyres wheel spinning is just going to overheat your tyres and just literally destroy them straight away, and then it's to bring them back is nearly impossible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all the changes that I've made here now. Okay, so I started off obviously with the tyre pressures. Front left 1.90, that was up a bit from my last setup, and the front right well up to 215, rear left to 200, again that's up, rear right 215, again that's well up from what we had in the past. That just keeps the tyres in a bit better range, I found. But then we're going to go on to the changes that I've made basically to stop wheel spin and keep the car a little bit more secure to the ground, stop the sliding on the front tyres, basically just to balance the setup a bit better, to make it a bit more consistent so that you're not getting the heat build up. Whereas before the update you could literally push, brake to the latest point, slide a bit, and you wouldn't really get any heat up issues. Now you really need to be aware of heating the tyres up. So there, limited slip we've gone down from 20 to 5%, I think it was on before. 5% now is just going to reduce that acceleration slip that you were getting. Now the limited slip deceleration I went down to 40% from 45%. I just found that was a little bit better for myself. Limited slip I've gone up to 60 there. You can actually go higher if you find you're still getting a bit more slip. Go up to 100. It'll reduce your wheel spin. You may lose a bit of time, but it's about keeping the tyres in check now. Radiator, obviously that's just dependent on what length race you're doing, etc. Now the bump stops, you can actually go lower. I may try going down to 15, because obviously the higher it is, the stiffer it is, more aggressive it is. So you're going to get a more responsive car, which is going to get a bit more heat in the tyres. Bump stop I've gone down again here now, as you'll see. I've gone softer on the suspension as much as I can without losing as much time as I can. I basically experimented how low. Going too low just ruins your lap time. So managed to get quite a nice balance now with this setup, as you see going through it. It's quite low on the stiffness on some things, because it's just creating less heat and it's giving a bit more grip to the tyres. The stiffer the suspension, it might respond better, but you're not getting as much grip, and you need grip now with the way the tyres are working. So you see now we've gone a little bit lower on the cambers as well to try and get a bit of speed back from I've actually upped the downforce, as you'll see in a minute. I think we were on 4.41, 4 on the front, 1 on the rear. I've now gone up to, I think it's, I'm sure it may be 2 on the front and 6 on the rear. Yeah, 2 on the front and 6 on the rear. And I've moved the weight bias to the front a bit just to get a bit more turning on the car. I found that if they were sliding a bit with it on the back, it was creating overheating. So now I'm going to let you watch the lap I've done. It's actually only half a second slower than my previous lap I uploaded, but I didn't push it anywhere near as hard. I think there may be another 2-3 temps in it, so it's probably only lost out on a few temps. But as you'll see now, it's a lot more consistent to drive. I didn't really get any heat up issues, as you'll see now watching this footage. You see you start your tyres on 100, and I actually did a few tests with this. I did like 6-7 laps just driving flat, and I think the highest temperature I got to on the front right was 105. Obviously if you're getting higher, you can just do a few of the changes I mentioned, like raising the slip up, even going down to 0% on the acceleration slip. Anything that's going to stop wheel spin is going to just save the tyres. You'll also notice there's a few bends you want to be a bit careful on here. I'll show you in a minute. We've come through this bend here now. Obviously you're going down to 3rd gear, and then coming up to this bend now up here, you need to brake a little bit earlier than that 50 there and get it in 2nd, but be so careful on the acceleration here. This is a bend that can kill your tyres, one of the bends on the track. You've got to be really cautious on that bend. If the more cautious you are there, if that is a one bend basically, if you're cautious on, you save your tyres. As you'll see now, the tyres are not overheating at all. They're ranging from 90 to 100 pretty much throughout the laps I did. This is just one hot lap I did, but when I was doing the free practice, I did numerous laps and they didn't go above 100. So hopefully for a race of any distance, especially long races, because you're going to be going slow with full fuel anyway. I was testing with 25 on the fuel, which was about 6-7 laps or something like that, I think it was, and I didn't get any heat up issues really. I think I had one little moment where it went up a bit because I spun the back a bit, but obviously that was my own fault, and I found that bringing them back down was pretty easy on the long straight. They came right back down again. So I'm going to leave you with the footage now, and there's a little replay after this, and hopefully this can help some of yous out with the setups and getting the tyre temperatures in for this track. Next track, I'm trying to do Dubai, but I'm having a bit of a nightmare with that, but I've managed to make it a bit better, but it may be a few weeks before I actually upload that video. But I'm also going to do a Monza video with the Aston Martin, because I've nearly got that one perfect now, and not far off what I was getting before. So hopefully these videos can help you all out, get the tyres back into a better range and enjoy the game a bit more, because I was put off with it, but now I've started to get used to it. I'm actually starting to enjoy the fact that you've got to really think about the way you drive. You can't be aggressive anymore, you've got to be smooth, think about your acceleration inputs, etc. What I'll try and do in the future as well, in the next week or so, even sooner, is do a telemetry lap to show you the acceleration that I'm putting in, where I'm accelerating, how much I'm accelerating, just to see, just so everyone can see where I'm like being a bit more cautious on certain bends, just to help out with the tyre temperatures. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, leave a like and subscribe, and I'll get some more of these videos out as much as I can now. I'm going to try and really concentrate on getting these tyre temps down. Thanks guys.